Welcome, this is Aylin again. So this is the third part of our KATONAH series. So we're going to enter the third floor, which is all about seeing, which is all about your observatory. So we're going to open up the third eye, the antenna, so we have a lot of inspiration, a lot of insight. We're going to add the principle of cross-referencing, so this will be a little bit of a more fluent practice, and we'll start in Tadasana. So separate your feet to hip width so you can always measure the length of a foot. And if you want to take your heels out just a notch to open up your sacral plate, please do so. On your first inhalation, float your arms up and interlace your thumbs. Hook them so that you can spread your shoulder apart, turning the armpits towards the heart. And while one part of you is rooting down, one part of you is ascending. So slowly start to move over to the right, maybe turning your jaw into your left armpit. And while we're moving to the right, you're slowly pressing your left foot down to substantiate. So again, the principle of opposing energy always applies. Inhale, come back to the center, and then switch your thumbs. So neurologically, you're always doing both sides. Slowly move over to the left, and while you're pressing your right foot down firmly, you can maybe and eventually turn your jawline into your right armpit. Take a full breath into your lungs, stretch your kidney, and eventually come back to the center. And then from your hip joint, fold over Uttanasana. So let your head dangle. And while your head is moving down, your sacral plate can open. And then again, bring your seat high up. So this is our very first inversion, which allows the bloodstream to the head. Take a few moments here to iron out all the wrinkles in your back, to take out the pressure of your past, not using muscle at all, and literally get over yourself while you're lifting your seat a little bit higher. And very gently plant your hands, walk back for your downward facing dog. So as we did previously, again, arrange your dog very archetypal by measuring the length of a foot, by planting the index and the thumb into the earth, lifting your seat even higher to create that crescendo, that curve in the lower back, bending the knees, lifting the heels, and creating a plumb line from your seat all the way down into the crown. And one piece of you is always looking down, turning your armpits towards the heart. And then take a deep breath here. So very slowly lift your right leg up towards the sky. And now start to internally rotate the thigh and really press into the ball of your back foot to find the lung. So you always put the pedal on the metal. So find your hips at 3 and 9 and keep lifting your kidneys. Now gently start to walk your hands back for a standing split. So while the hands are moving back, you keep a micro bend in your standing leg, and once your leg is back, you really want to aim for a 120-degree line from your back foot into your front arm. So here you want to have 3 options. So one of the options would be, as Natalie's doing, coming onto your fingertips. So you're really having that arc line of potential from your pubis to your navel to your sternum into your vision. You're looking out. Maybe you can walk your hands flat down onto the floor and still look out. So one piece of you is moving back, one piece of you is moving out, so there's always space in the joints. So eventually version 3, which is the hardest, you can walk your hands back and interlace your fingers to the webbing. Now gently press your fingers around your standing leg, and then you want to create a triangle from your hands all the way up into your arms. So while you're pulling towards your legs, your foot is pressing down firmly and you're opening up the space again. Plant both feet down, Uttanasana, and hang. So taking that deep pressure out of your mind, of your thoughts, even if you stumble, don't you worry, we just get up again. So balancing is always a focused part of the practice. So if we fall, as quickly as we can, we bounce back. Walk your hands back for downward facing, and then prepare for the second side. So put yourself into your plumb line again, organizing the hips, organizing the fold. And then inhale, lift your left leg up this time. Turning the thigh bone in, keeping your hips steady, 3 and 9, or as we say, east and west. Now eventually start to walk your hands back towards the standing leg. So again, choose your option. Do the same you had on the first side. Either fingertips, which gives you a little bit more elevation and height. Drishti is always out. Or eventually plant your hands down to the floor, still having that arc line of potential. Or then maybe walking your hands further back to finding the most challenging of all three options. Interlacing the hands to the webbing, pressing the back foot back, lifting the leg even a little bit higher, having that push and pull action from your hands to your leg. One more deep breath here, and then slowly fold down for Uttanasana. That's it. So again, let your head dangle, having a micro bend in your knees. So you will feel the heat coming out of your body. That's perfectly fine. And then slowly take your hands to your hips, press your feet down, and then come all the way up, vertebra by vertebra. And then from here, take Tadasana, and then we're going to take a wide stance for Prasarita. So here we're going to add the idea of cross-referencing, of weaving in both sides, the left side, the right side, to define the center, which we call the third foot, the third hand, the third eye, which is the invisible, which is running through you, your so-called Sutratman. So from here you can take your feet even a little bit wider and then fold down from the hip joint and go into a hand. So don't worry about the measure because we always handle situations as far as we can take them. So bring your right hand over and grab the left shin and then crisscross your left arm over to take the right shin. Now, if you have more capacity, walk your feet out. But you never want to walk your hands up and compromise the position. You only go as far as you can handle it. So she has a nice bend in her knees. She has that fold in her hips. And now from here, by plugging in through her feet, having stability in her pelvis, she starts to open up and she starts to weave. So while the pelvis is still steady, she moves that arm up, having a beautiful diagonal, and then she's going to thread that arm underneath the left, and she's going to do the other side. So everywhere she's going, she is having a new vision, a new perspective, a new narrative, a new understanding. So here we're really going to have that sphere of imagination, sphere of vision. That's it. 2 more of these. So you want to make sure that you're not compromising your legs because the ability in the torso is only going to come through the stability in the legs. And eventually she has a vision, a new reflection, a new memory, a new understanding. That's it. Good. One more time, the last side. So this is still the more linear version of the pose. So what we're going to do now, pause for a second, we're going to swim it. So in life, 1/3 is kick, 1/3 is stroke, and 1/3 is head above water. That's what we're going to do. So we want to do it round. So we're really going to weave everything around. So bring the right arm up and then start to travel it around. So you really want to have all of that influence, all of that vision. So life becomes circumstantial, circumferential, and go out, out, out around yourself. So again, you're at the center. Everything around you is your circumstances. Only you in the middle. You are the mediator, the modulator, the magician to change. So 2 more of these. You can always do a few more if you want to. And use your vision to trace what you're doing. Last one. Good. And then go out, out around yourself. And then, okay, 1 more. That's it. Go for the full orbit. Last one. Good. And then here, let your head dangle. Take a few breaths here. And then bring your hands onto your hips. And then slowly unfold, rooting down and then ascending at the very same time. Good. So that was a cross-referencing, which we now gonna do in our sun salutations. So this is going to be something we will be doing quite a lot. And over time, this will become very joyful. And the real big difference between joy and terror is technique. So bring your feet to touch. So we're having one giant foot. And I want to take the hands to our heart, so we're going to build it up incrementally. So put on a nice song, do it for 5 to 7 minutes. And in the beginning, you might be slower, and at some time, it's going to be hot and quick. So we start for 1, so we drop in, arms moving up. And then 2, we fold all the way down. We're having a relation, a connection, a dialogue. Now take your right foot back for a lunge. So this lunge is a little bit different because we're really going through the center. Knee on top of heel, and then from here slowly unfold for 3. So 3 is always triangulation. It's a third principle. Bring your hands down, and now thread your left leg in front of the right for a crisscross down dog. So 4 is always a surface. It's 4 points of contact. Now from here, inhale for 5, shift into upward facing, rooting your heels back, lifting your sternum. 5 is you at the center. 6, we move back. 6 are 2 triangles, male and female superimposed. Now 7, thread the right leg all the way around and bring it to the center. So that's the hard part. This is where everything flips. 7 is it coming out, bring your arms up, bring the left hip around. And 8, take your left leg behind the right and fold. So this is the embodiment, this is substantiation. And then 9, we rise, rise, rise all the way to the pinnacle. And 10, is you at the center, everything around you, wrap yourself up. So 1, we fold up. 2, we fold down. 3, left leg goes back for a lunge, all the way coming out. And then 4 is moving back into the shore, right leg in front of the left. Inhale for upward facing, it's a wave. And then 6, it's going back into the shore. 7, left leg to the top, it's a risk, it's a coming out. And then 8, it's a connection, it's repetition. 9, we rise, rise, rise. And 10 is one in a higher dimension. So 1, we rise. 2, we fold. 3, we anchor back, arms up. Now you can do it on fingertips too. This gives you more height. So left leg in front for 4. 5, we center. 6, we anchor back. 7, right leg to the top, arms move up. And then 8, left leg behind, embody. And then 9, rise, achieve. And 10, you center. So 1, unfold. 2, you fold. 3, now you can take your hands only back to proceed. 4, we crisscross. 5, we center. 6, we move back. 7, we unfold. 8, we fold. And 9, we rise, unfold. And 10, we complete. 1 and 2. So we really start to weave a new narrative. Everything we have in life is really come by our 3 natures. So we're weaving in a new nature, a third, the potential. So everything you choose, everything you have as a goal, everything you want to do in life, because you have options. So keep using that material, keep using recipes, add a little bit of joy. So this will become really a new chance to potentiate yourself. So 1, we rise. 2, we fold. 3, we anchor. 4, we have a substance. 5, we center. 6, we move back. 7, we step out. 8, we embody. 9, we reach. And 10, we center. 1 and 2. 3, move back. And whenever you fall out, just use a moment to pause and come back in again. Because we'll repeat this over and over again. We keep folding and unfolding. So we can really create more volume, more possibilities. So you can pause the video. And whenever you feel like coming back, just come back. Don't give up. Keep practicing. Keep repeating. And eventually you will really enjoy that. Few more of these. Left leg back. It's always a folding and an unfolding. A going in and a coming out. Always moving through the center. Opening up the circumference and all the space in between. That's it. Keep breathing, keep bouncing, keep flipping. Good. Last two. So you could do this up to 10 minutes. If you have a nice song, if you're in a nice class, if you have friends around, do it as a community. So this is going to be the last round, and then we're going to end in Tadasana again, having this new third principle. That's it. And then slowly rise, rise, rise. Hands to the center. Good. So calm down, find your breath. And you will hear the heat in your heart, the heart pumping. And slowly bring your feet back to Tadasana. Let the energy sink. Let the fire rise. Let the water descend. Air out your Tai Chi in the center. And slowly bring your hands next to your body for Tadasana. And then you can come down onto the floor. Good. So that was really the way we do cross-referencing at its best. So you have weaved in your right and left side and open up to the third. So to really open up the imagination, there are two more things which are quite nice for the practice. So we can soothe all that heat through around the plow. It's going to take all the angles out, which is going to take all the heat out. So I'm going to demonstrate on Natalie so she can come back onto her spine. So this is not a classical spine opener. So it's actually around the plow, which is going to take out all of the pressure of her back. So she will bring her knees towards her chest and then slowly lift her seat up. And then she's going to go into a nice plow. So the plow we know is a right angle in the spine. What we want to do here, we want to have a pose of potential. So eventually her spine has no effort. Her knees will go into her armpits. Her hands will go around her foot. So she's fully connected. She has so much safety. And now that's none of her business anymore what's happening around her. So she can start to use her imagination to her own advantage. She closes her eyes so she hears her own Ujjayi breath. Her eyes are closed. And now what you can do here, if this is hard to enter, you could roll up a blanket, give yourself a little bit of a support. So you're not dropping back because the seat really doesn't want to go up. It wants to root forward. Now she's having the back of her thighs, which is the back of her lungs, on her actual lungs. So this is really a beautiful pose to breathe deeply. If you have 2 blocks available and your feet are not touching the ground, this would be a perfect option to put your feet onto blocks. Now, even better, if you have sandbags or a friend, let someone give you some weight here. It's going to anchor you down even more. So you can pause the video if you want to and stay here for 10 minutes. Again, use your breath, use a count, stay dynamic. So we're slowly going to come out of that again. So you really design that practice to your own advantage. Good. And slowly stretch everything out. That's it. Nice. And then we're gonna prepare for the end, which is gonna be a little pranayama practice. So we're gonna sit up. Now, 2 options to sit for pranayama. One of these would be again on a block for virasana, or then maybe on a rolled blanket for sukhasana, whatever serves you. Just make sure that you're putting yourself onto a spit, which is really the universe moving through you all the way down and coming out through your perineum, plugging you in through the umbilical cord. So you're steady in the ground, able in the middle, and having a lot of stellar vision on your top floor. So you can bring your hands onto your thighs or make little cups for the ladies left palm inside the right, and for the gentleman, right palm inside the left, the potential of your hand facing up to receive grace. So inhale through your nose fully, and then fully exhale through your mouth. And gently seal your lips, keeping your thyroid open. And then you're going to inhale along your front for spring rising. And then on top of your crown, hold the breath for the flame and the heat of summer. And then gently exhale along your spine for the leaves descending in fall. Underneath you, hold the breath for a pregnancy pause in winter. And then again, inhale for the potential rising in front of you. Hold the breath on top of you for everything ripening. And then gently transform into fall behind you. And underneath you, hold the breath for hibernation. Again, inhale, long breath for spring rising. Hold for kumbhaka above you for the ripening of summer. Exhale for fall descending along your spine. And then underneath you go in and contemplate. Last round. Inhale for spring, everything blossoming. Hold the breath for a pause for summer, everything is heavy on the vine. Exhale, let the leaves descend behind you. And then hold the breath underneath you for winter. And then slowly bring your thumb to touch your right nostril, index and middle finger to your third eye, the third eye between the brows, which no one can see. So we're gonna breathe Nadi Shodhana. So we're gonna gently breathe in through the left nostril, inflating the left lung. Now drawing all the breath into your right hemisphere of the brain. Holding both sides of the nostrils, pause, and then exhale through the right nostril, really releasing your right kidney. Inhale through the right lung and right nostril all the way up into your left hemisphere. Seal both sides and hold, and then exhale through the left, releasing the left kidney. And then again, inhale through the left into the right hemisphere, cross-reference. Seal both sides, and then exhale all the way out through your right. One more time. Inhale through the right into the left hemisphere. Seal both, and then exhale all the way out through the left. Now release your hands, place them onto your thighs. Do one more round without the hands by just using your imagination. And then make sure your last exhalation is going to be out of the right nostril. Really breathe everything out. And slowly return back to your natural breath. You can either stay seated or find the last Shavasana. Thank you so much for practicing. Namaste.